What's going on, guys? Falla here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another tutorial. On today's tutorial, we're gonna be doing a pretty cool haircut, but besides the cool haircut, I want to point out a couple of things because I think it's gonna help you guys a lot. So this is the first time that I'm cutting this client. I think he found me on YouTube or on Instagram, and then he came to get a haircut. I just kind of want to talk a little bit about like some of the stuff that you might find when you cut a client for the first time. So pretty much what we're gonna do right here, we're gonna part the hair, right? We're gonna create a horseshoe parting. We're gonna separate the top from the sides. Just gonna make it easier for us, right? This is one of the things I want to show. If you can see, the cowlick on the back is really short, right? This client has a very difficult cowlick on the back, right? And also has like super straight and coarse hair. So what that's gonna do is just gonna make the hair like spike up, like how you can see, right? You can see it's super short, and that happened because the way that it was cut, it wasn't sectioned properly, right? It was sectioned maybe in one way, and then when the hair kind of went in the direction they wanted to be, or that it was gonna go when it dried, then it was too short to actually lay down. So always make sure that when you are gonna section hair and you see like a cowlick, make sure you cut it based on the direction that the swirl is going. Like that, when it dries, it's just gonna lay down correctly, and it's not gonna spike up all over. So that's just a little tip I wanted to give you guys. Make sure that you follow the hair growth, because it's extremely important. So here what I'm doing, I'm creating a block graduation, or I'm kind of just creating the shape of my haircut. This is where the clippers are gonna hit. Pretty much this is my base where the clippers are gonna stop, and then from the top this is what's gonna be connected with the top. So pretty much block graduation kind of like sets up the whole structure of the haircut, and from there down you fade, and from there up you blend into the top. So here we're gonna go ahead and create a first guide. We're gonna use a number 1 just because the hair was super long. I wanted to kind of remove some of that hair and kind of know exactly where I was gonna place my 0, just in case that I didn't want to go too high with it. So sometimes I start with a 1 just because of that reason. So usually what you want to do is just remember that once you create your block graduation, from that point on, this is gonna be your where you're gonna finish with your clippers, right? And most likely it's gonna be your finger length, whatever your finger length is. So you're gonna go ahead and use that. In my case, that will be a number 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a number 4 with the lever down first, and then I'm gonna put that lever up or close that lever, and then I'm gonna go ahead and continue down fading. This is kind of gonna connect that block graduation, or that first fade line that I created. Is gonna start blending it down. After that, we're gonna go ahead and use a number 2 with the lever open, and then I'm just gonna blend the 2 into a 4. You could use a 3 if you want to. In this case, like I just wanted to skip a couple of guards to make my life easier, just because I always I'm very consistent with my C motion. So for me, it's easier to go ahead and kind of skip that number 3, right? So here we're gonna go ahead and create our first guide with 0 pretty much. And how you can see, I'm going a little bit lower just because I started to see that if I was gonna go too high with it, it was gonna raise the fade a little bit too much, and that's not what I wanted for his head shape. I'm kind of trying to follow the head shape with the guide that I created. So just remember, head shape is extremely important, just because the fade is going to look a lot nicer when it follows it. So here we're going to go ahead and start shaving the bottom using our electric shaver. Just make sure you maintain a little bit of space between the shaver and the first guideline that you made, just in case that you need to erase or you need to blend anything. Then you can always use your trimmer or use the same electric shaver to kind of blend that. So make sure there's no like a strong line, because I noticed that a lot. Some barbers leave like a very strong line there and they don't know how to remove it. So just make sure there's enough space. So So here we're gonna go ahead and use number 1 with the lever open. Remember we passed a 2 before. I feel with this you don't need the 1.5, but if you need it, go ahead and use it. In this case I feel like I don't need it just because the way the guards are, so I don't need that one. So after that we're gonna go ahead and clip overcome a little bit that weight line, because I started noticing that the weight line, it was gonna be a little bit too like long. Because in this case the hair, this is difficult hair to fade. You can see the hairs like growing out everywhere, and because it was cut too short on the back, then the back is spiking up a little bit, so it's not easy hair to fade. So but I'm here kind of like have to pull all my tricks pretty much to kind of make it look the best, right? So here we're using a 0 or 1/16, or if you use a wall clipper it's gonna be the half. So we're gonna go ahead and blend that lever open, and then we're gonna close that lever. We're gonna continue down fading and kind of continue in the shape. How you can see the shape of the fade right now is matching the head shape, and that's very, how I said before, is very important, because it's just gonna make your fade look a lot nicer when it follows that shape. So here we're gonna go ahead and close that lever first. In this case, the reason why I'm starting with the lever closed is because my machine is not 0 gap, so I want to make sure how much of that bottom line it takes, and then I'm gonna open the lever little by little. If I need if it leaves the line, then I'm gonna go ahead and use another clipper, like something with a surgical blade to help me remove. But I feel like just because the guide that I created with the 0, it was actually with this machine with the lever closed, it's not leaving a very strong line. So that's another tip. Sometimes I see people that they start their guide, the 0 guide, with a trimmer, and the trimmer is a 0 gap, so it's gonna cut the hair very, very short. And then when they go ahead and start fading with the clipper, if the clipper is not super sharp as well, then it's gonna most likely leave a little line there. So just keep that in mind. So now we're gonna go ahead and start cutting the top. I'm gonna create a vertical section pretty much, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut that. That's gonna be our guide. It's gonna be our longest pretty much chunk of hair, to say it like that, or section. This is gonna be kind of what's gonna dictate the rest of the haircut. We're gonna pull in 90 degrees from the floor, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut what we agree with the client on the consultation. If you guys notice, I actually asked the client again if that was a good amount, and he said yes. So that's what we started doing. And now, like, I just switched sides just because so you guys could see better. And then what I'm doing, I'm pulling that first guide into my next guide, just so I can over direct it a little bit and maintain that length. It's extremely important, because this type of hair especially, you do not want to cut this hair too short. If the client obviously doesn't want it. If the client wants to style his hair, and the client wants to play around with it a little bit, you need length. You need length to be able to make it fall into the side or make it style, because if you cut it too short, it's just gonna spike up because it's super thick, it's a lot of hair, and it's super straight. So just keep that in mind. How you can see it, the cowlick is still too short, so I'm just kind of not even touching that. I'm just leaving that alone because I agree. In my consultation, I told the client straight up that he needed to let that grow, so it will be longer next time, so it make it easier for him to style his hair. So here we're just double checking, taking horizontal sections, making sure that everything is even. Just remember that if you cut everything vertical, you most likely gonna have to cross check using horizontal lines. So just keep that in mind, guys. I know a lot of barbers don't have the time, or they say they don't have the time, and they just cut it one way, and then if you were going to check that hair, you were gonna notice that it's super uneven, because it's just very hard to not create like a little bit peaks and valleys when you are just cutting it one way and you cutting short hair. It's just gonna happen regardless. So just make sure you double check always, guys. That's what separates a good barber from a great barber. After blow drying the hair into place or in the direction you want the hair to lay down, then we're gonna go ahead and start shaping up the client. As you can see, I'm just doing it very natural. We're not touching the forehead, we're not touching anything, you know, like on the corners, nothing. We're just shaping up the sides a little bit. Now every haircut needs to be shaped up, guys. A haircut without a super straight line in the forehead is still a great haircut. So, you know, for all of you that always say that, oh, you're not shaping up your clients in the forehead, blah blah blah, guys, not every client wants that, and not every haircut needs it, so just keep that in mind. So here we're using channeling cutting just to kind of remove some of that length, and also to kind of, well, the weight of it, and also to create direction, so it helps the client style his hair. You can see this hair is super thick, super coarse, so much dense and than others, so you need all the tricks I said before. We're gonna go ahead and use a hot towel just to soften the skin, soften the hair, open the pores, and so it's easy for us to pass a razor. You can see I'm just keeping it natural. It looks nice, natural. I don't need to push it back. If in whatever case the client was gonna ask for something a little bit sharper, then usually I would just apply some color and color a day. I think that would be the better choice in my opinion. But you know, just make sure consultation is extremely important. Make sure you talk to your client always about this. The same thing about shave the neck. Ask your client if it's okay with him if you use a razor. Some clients are kind of like very sensitive on the neck, so just make sure you apply a little bit of product or a hot towel or something like that before you shave the neck. But you know, it's a service you want to offer, because I'm not seeing a lot of barbers do great haircuts, but you know, leave all the hair on the neck. So you know, guys, we're here to offer the full package. You know, here just finish down the hair. I just apply a little bit of a strong product just to hold the hair in place, and that's it, guys. You can see what a different person that he looks like after the haircut. For real, like, this was a great transformation. Very happy with the result. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you loved the video, don't forget to subscribe and like it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.